connecting you to our community, 11 Connects. Welcome to 11 Connects. I'm your host, Jen Lennon. Today I'm joined by Carl Carlson. He's the CEO and founder of Carlson Financial. Welcome back, Carl.
Good to be here, Jen. Good to see you.
It is great to see you too. And Carl, you come on with good advice for us. Remind us of topics that we should address, even ones we might not think of or might not want to deal with. And today is one we may not want to deal with, but talking about death and debt and sort of the circumstances families can be left in and what we can do to prepare for that many people don't think about. So describe to me the challenges after someone passes away, whether an older person or suddenly, and how debt plays into that.
So, and different states handle things differently. Community property states are different. So we'll speak a little bit in generalities, but you really need to find out for your own individual situation. But when someone passes away, typically the first thing that happens is everything needs to go through probate court. And so if they had accounts and possessions, real estate, vehicles, things like that, then that all is going to go through probate along with the debts to go into probate too. And then the probate court begins to figure everything out.
Got it. Now, is there a way that you can designate things ahead of time so that we don't get stuck in that sort of court backlog?
Yeah, so this is where estate planning is very important.
Okay.
And how is all this inheritance stuff going to take place? And too often people think about that like, well, that's something I'll do when I'm 80 or 70 and there's too many times that people pass away or people die younger than they expected, something comes up. So, and the problem is if oftentimes you're going to maybe get really sick or something before you pass away, and then you don't feel like it, you're not going to do it. It's going to be stressful for everybody. So
right.
During times that you're healthy and good, that's when you need to get your estate planning done. And it's not just for millionaires and billionaires, it can be for somebody that has hardly any assets and maybe 30,000 in credit card debt. So that still needs estate planning.
Because the reality is if you pass away with assets and with debt, then the courts will step in and get those debts paid from those assets. That's how that works generally, right?
Yeah. Yep. And there's priorities. So if someone had owed a family member $5,000 or something because they loaned some to a parent to help them get through something, and when they pass away, then that $5,000 becomes a part of the estate's unsecured debt, and it has to go in with everything else. And you can't just say, hey, we're going to pay the daughter off first. You can't do that, because then they can come back against you and say, no, you went against the priority rules. Now you have to come up with the money to pay off some of this other stuff. So you have to be really careful.
So make sure you've designated a beneficiary on everything that you can. You even told me you can designate a beneficiary on real estate, and that'll help to sort some of this out.
Yeah, so if you have a beneficiary on something, it skips probate. It goes right to the person that's the beneficiary. Life insurance does that, IRAs, 401ks, but you have to make sure the beneficiary is on there. That's key.
Got it. It is key. So what's important is get that estate planning done now. And I know if people call, you can set up those meetings.
Yes, we'll sit down. We'll work through that with you. We do estate planning.
Got it. Thank you.
You bet.